Hi, welcome back. Today I've got Pixie with me and she's probably going to do most of the video. Now I'm going to talk about bulbs today because people often ask me, what do I do with my leftover bulbs? Maybe you didn't have time in the autumn to plant them, or maybe you ordered too many and there wasn't space to plant them all. But fear not, you can plant them now, and Pixie and I are going to plant them. And you basically plant them in little plant pots, little plastic plant pots, and then when they've leafed up, you transfer them to the border or to a bigger pot. Now one year I planted tulips in February, so it's quite late, in these plastic pots, and they came up really nicely. They came up that spring, so there was still time to plant them. This year I'm going to plant alliums as well. It's a bit of an experiment, but I see no reason why they shouldn't work as well. So I'll show you how to do it now with Pixie. So these are the bulbs I'm going to plant, and last year I planted these tulips in a container and I had a few left over, so I'm going to now put them in these containers. I've got W, as in Y-O-U, which is a fragrant double peony tulip, very beautiful, lovely hot pink. And then I've got Paul Scherrer, which is a very dark purple tulip, almost black, apparently the darkest tulip. And then I've got Allium Purple Sensation, which I wanted to plant in my borders in the autumn, but I ran out of time. So I'm going to put them in ready grown. I'm going to start them off in these pots, then transfer them to the border when the leaf has grown. So I'll do that now. I like to keep the packets for a record, so I know what I planted. I forgot to mention this is Allium Purple Sensation, which is my favourite allium. It's a really perfect globe and it's lovely for punctuating borders. So that'll go in my border eventually. So take a container, nice size one, not a too tiny one, and just use some nice multi-purpose compost. This is Rocket Grow, my go-to compost, nice organic peat-free compost. Fill it up about nearly halfway, and then I'm going to put in 3 tulips. 1, 2, 3. So there we go. And just put on some more compost. And then you'll need to water these at the end. And just keep an eye on the watering. Don't let them dry out, but they don't like to be wet. Too wet either. So that's the tulips done. Now the alliums. The alliums can go slightly shallower. Very useful to keep leftover pots, particularly if they're a decent size. You never know when you might have to do a bit of potting up. So in with the compost. You might want to label, oh no, you don't need to label them. Can we ignore that bit, James?
Yes, we can.
Because you'll see, you might want to label them actually, just so when the foliage comes up, but you should be able to tell from the foliage which is which. I did that, that's slightly more than half filled. Again, I'm going to put in 3 alliums. They're already beginning to sprout, which is rather exciting. I get excited by things like that. So that's going to go in there. And then fill up with compost. And then I'm going to do the rest of them later. You don't need to see the rest, but I just wanted to give you an idea. Just firm them in a bit. Label them if you want to. Those are going to be done at another time. My alliums, because I love alliums. I'm going to put the alliums in my border. And that's that. I'm just going to water, and I'm also going to cover them with chicken wire, because squirrels love tulips. They're like sweets to squirrels, and they will dig up the tulips. So I'm actually just going to put wire over all the pots that I do, some chicken wire. So I'll do that now. So I'm going to clear the decks and give them a water. Just moisten the soil, don't drench it. Now the chicken wire, got a large piece here. You can just buy this. I bought this from a local hardware shop. You could do an individual square, but I've just got a big enough piece to put on the top, and that will deter the pesky squirrels. I'll find that hard to get into the bulbs. Trying to make that go in a bit. Anyway, there we go. You get the general idea. And these will go on my patio, and I'll just watch them grow. So although it's a grey day in February, you can still do things in the garden, and it's lovely to get out. It's lovely to plant and do things, and you'll have the joy of watching these bulbs grow. So I hope this video has inspired you. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.